6 reasons why LeBron James is not the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball or the NBA. It's plenty of reasons why, but I narrowed down to 6. You know, to commemorate the 4-6 record he has in the finals. But let's go ahead and get started, man. If you haven't already subscribed, I'm gonna go ahead and invite you to subscribe now. Also, let everybody know about this channel, man, and bring as much traffic as you want to this channel and help us grow it. But let's go ahead and get into this video. LeBron James is not the GOAT. Reason number 6, he has too many holes in his offensive game, just way too many holes in his offensive game. He's robotic with his footwork in the post. He don't really have a lot of moves in the post game. He can't really get consistent and high percentage shots without a high screen and roll. He pretty much utilized the high screen and roll with every play. Ball handling is not really above average. And he just don't have he don't have any really go to moves off the ball with the ball off the dribble unless he's getting a screen set for him and he's trying to get a running start to the rim to utilize his speed and his power. I mean, it's just a real elementary game. It's not a lot to it. It's effective because he's huge and athletic and and fast and all those things. And then he has that amazing passing ability, which kind of helps offset him running to the rim. If you happen to double and try to stop him against the rim, he can find anybody on the court. That's why everybody say he had to have a lot of shooters around him in order for his offense to work. And if he don't have tons of shooters, offense is not going to work. If he don't have a big man that that can shoot it, the offense is not going to work because a big man really wants to be in the post. Um, Off the ball, he don't really do much. He's a great slasher. He cuts, to the basket. That's good, but you're not going to get a lot of spacing with him off the ball. It's no need for him to be in catch and shoot situations. He's not going to come off screens and catch and shoot. He's not going to post up a lot. His game is really giving him the ball up top, getting a high screen and roll, and running to the rim with a head full of steam. That's pretty much his game. So we just got to be real about it. He's just not an offensive juggernaut. He's a great passer, a super athlete, very smart, high IQ basketball player who late in his years, now we're at about year 19, year 20, the last 3 years he's developed a 3-point shot that can be consistent, where early on in his years, all the way up to probably maybe 2013, maybe the game plan was to make him shoot. Now he got to make you respect the 3, but anything between the paint and the 3 and anything mid-range is still going to be shaky. Same thing with his free throws. Can't rely on that as well. It's just too many holes. And for me, that disqualifies him all by itself because Michael Jordan is the current guy that we all revere as the GOAT. And he was so complete with all those things. So in order for you to surpass a guy that had a complete offensive package, complete offensive game, you got to have at least that. You just can't not have it and then be considered better than him. It's just not going to happen. Number 5, he stopped playing defense in 2015. Great defender. He still can defend well. He just refused to do it night in and night out for 4 straight quarters and for 82 games a season plus playoffs. He just doesn't do it, and everyone's human. We don't expect people to, be given the 100% every play. Some people take plays off. That's normal. However, I think what LeBron James did, of course, in Miami, Pat Riley and Coach Spo wasn't going to allow you not to play D. So he played probably the most D he's ever played in his career in Miami. But once he left Miami and got back to Cleveland in 2015, he just stopped. And his excuse was, well, not his excuse, but his followers and his fans' excuse for why he's not playing D like he used to was because he's doing so much on offense. And which I just had a conversation with a guy early today because they referenced the 11-game stretch when Michael Jordan was in his maybe second or third year in Chicago, and when he played point guard, and he was everything for his team on offense. And I think he was averaging in 11-game stretch, I think he was averaging like 30, 11, and 10 or something like that. And there was another stretch where he was averaging 27, 77 for like maybe 30 games. And you can look that up to get those numbers more accurate, but that's the gist of what it was. And a lot of people was asking, well, if he was able to play like that and get those numbers while playing the point guard, why he didn't continue to do that? And my answer was, it's not winning basketball. It's good for your stats. It's good for statistics, but it's not a good idea to consolidate three major roles on offense into one player. You got your primary distributor and point guard, your primary scorer, and then your primary assist guy. Just not smart to have that in one guy. So in a triangle offense where you take your best scorer off the ball and he find his points within the system, and then you have a guy like Scottie Pippen who has ball skills and good distribution skills. Actually, he was an assist guy, but the triangle offense was actually predicated on spacing and ball sharing amongst all five people on the court. So anybody can make a play for anybody in the triangle offense. That's kind of how the Warriors play as well. That's good basketball. And if your superstar is your primary scorer and can play in a system like that, it's going to be that much better. LeBron doesn't do that. LeBron, especially when he was in Cleveland, he was the entire offensive system. He was the primary scorer. He had the greenest light in the NBA history. He could shoot whatever shot he wanted. And then if he decided he didn't want the shot and he passed it to you, you got to shoot it. So now, not only am I the primary scorer, I'm also in charge of getting everyone shots, right? So everyone was saying since he's doing so much on offense, it's okay for him not to play defense. That's not a good formula. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, primary scorers, played off the ball, allowed someone else to distribute the ball, let the triangle offense work for them on offense, and then they play lockdown defense. That's the best formula, right? Team hopping and trading players around, getting coaches fired, just so he can, try to ring chase. It's your job to win. Everyone wants to get a ring, but I respect a guy that with Michael Jordan who plays for a team, and when his team is not good enough, his reaction to not being good enough is to get in the gym in the off season, get stronger, get better, and do that also with his teammates and get them stronger and faster and better, and then come back and beat the guys that was beating you. That's a respectable way to rise to the top. And then once you get to the top, see how long you can stay there. On the other hand, you got LeBron, who team wasn't good enough to beat certain teams. And his reaction to not being good enough was not to make all his teammates better. His reaction was leave the franchise, join a franchise, and a player in D Wade who already won, who was already on LeBron's level, who was already a primary number one superstar that carried a franchise. And not only did he join that guy, he picked a third guy that was just like that, a number one for a franchise who carried a franchise. And they joined all those guys together, and they still lost the first year. Right. So, I respect the grind of MJ more than I respect the grind of let me go switch teams and try to make this thing work that way by joining other players. So that stuff killed his legacy, and then he continued to do that. Once D Wade got a little banged up and got older, instead of going down with the ship or going home with the girl he brought to the prom, he said, "All right, D Wade, it was nice playing with you for 3 or 4 years, but you're getting old. Let me go join with this young fellow over here in Cleveland and Kyrie." And then when Kyrie left him, he said, "All right, well, Cleveland, it was nice knowing you, but let me go to LA and bring AD over here. So his number two got younger and healthier, while someone like Michael Jordan's number two and Pippen got older and less healthy. But he continued to grind with that guy all the way to the end and got six. And the team hopping and the trading and the franchise leaving and the coaching firing, he's doing all that maneuvering, and he still only got four. And one of them had to be a bubble ring, which should never happen in the first place. So it's just a different grind. I think his legacy takes a hit from that. Number three, Dirk Nowitzki. Nobody's ever going to forget that. 2011, Jason Terry, Dirk, J Kidd at 1,000 years old, Tyson Chandler, guys like that, took a super team and made them look very bad. A super team that was led by LeBron James, who was thought of by many to be the best player in the league. Can't forget that. And then LeBron James performed horrible in that finals. And Jason Terry and JJ Barrera just was running circles around those guys. It was time when J Kidd would switch on screens and guard LeBron James and do it successfully. Just was a bad look. And D Wade had to rise to the occasion for Miami in that finals, where I think he was averaging close to 30 in that one. So that was a major hit on his legacy as well. All of these things contribute to why people don't believe he can be considered as the GOAT. But for me, I mean, it really just boils down to how complete his game is or isn't compared to who many think is the GOAT in Michael Jordan. Number two, once you rise to the top, like I said earlier, everyone has a grind. You get in the league, your team's not good enough. It's teams that's already established, and that superstar's job is to get his team ready to compete at the highest level. And once you get to the top, how long can you stay there? In Michael Jordan's case, he got there, and Larry Bird and the Detroit Pistons bad boys was beating the heck out of him. He got his guys ready through a lot of battles and then all-season workouts and all that stuff. And then once they got ready to compete, they got to the top, and they stayed up there, and they got 6 rings out of it in 8 years. And the 2 that they didn't get was years that Michael Jordan didn't play a full season. So that I like that. That's a respectable grind. Only Elijah Wan got rings in that span when Michael Jordan was on top. You compare that to LeBron James getting on top, and while he was on top, you get domination from Kobe. You get domination from Tim Duncan and the Spurs. You get domination from Steph Curry and the Warriors. You get domination from the Boston Celtics big three. You get KD dominating, getting him some rings. You get Dirk Nowitzki dominating Miami and LeBron and getting him a ring. You get Kawhi having his moments. It's just too many people that ate. When on the opposite end of the spectrum, and Michael Jordan, you got so many superstars who can never say that they was able to win the finals, and it was because of Michael Jordan. You got Gary Payton, you got John Stockton, you got Karl Malone, you got Charles Barkley, you got Clyde Drexler finally did get one when he joined Elijah Wan, but before that, Drexler was on that list. You can just go down the list of guys, Patrick Ewing, of guys that was like good enough. David Robinson, good enough where he finally got one once Jordan left, but guys that was good enough to get rings, who had teams that built around them, that was legit. But Michael Jordan just wouldn't allow him to get it. It's just a different grind. And number one, just for the heck of it, 4-6. I mean, I'm just never gonna walk to someone and say, hey, this sport that I love, the best player I ever seen do it, lost 6 finals. Just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna say that. Like I'm also not gonna say, hey, this sport that I love and I played, the best guy that ever do it couldn't shoot free throws, couldn't shoot mid range consistent enough to rely on that shot, couldn't shoot off the dribble, couldn't shoot off the screen, off the catch. Only thing he could do is have the ball in his hand, get a screen up top, run full speed to the rim, and attempt a layup or a dunk. I mean, I'm just never gonna say that was the best player I ever seen play with that many holes and deficiencies in this game, who also stopped playing defense in 2015. That just not gonna do it. So yeah, you can come in, you can say you disagree, but if you do disagree, please leave those comments. But first and foremost, make sure you subscribe, make sure you come back for the next one. All right, peace.